You're in the Business Insurance Zone with me, Steve Savant, national financial columnist and money color commentator. This week on The Biz, employee stock ownership plans. And on today's show, our very special guest, Keriti Tuioti, nationally recognized ESOP expert, right here on The Zone.
When it comes to life insurance, annuities, long-term care, disability, or group pension plans, we're the news you can use.
Well, welcome everyone to the Business Insurance Zone. I'm your host, Steve Savant, and we're broadcasting live to a nationwide audience of financial advisors right here in Fountain Hills, Arizona, home of America's largest fountain. And day 5, Keriti's been walking us through ESOPs. And I mean, thank you for coming on our show. Day 5,
pleasure.
how are you surviving?
Ooh, barely.
Now everybody says, well, Steve, this is all great, but you're the Business Insurance Zone. Where's the insurance play here? Well, we saved the best to last, so we force you to watch Monday through Thursday. There's actually some serious play here. Let's talk through life insurance and the applications as they tandem with ESOPs.
Well, Steve, that's a very good question, and that's what we do. I mean, we set up all this planning so that it allows for us to be able to do the kind of things that we want to do for our clients. And in any type of insurance, when you're working with a company, COLI, buy, sell, anything that you're accustomed to right now, they all have application in an ESOP. The biggest, for example, is we need to cover the collateral, right? There's a debt there, so the company has an interest in creating a security in the event that the owner dies prematurely. So going back to your example, if the company purchases the stock from the selling shareholder for $1 million, the company has to have the liquidity to pay in the event to the selling shareholder's family in the event the selling shareholder dies prematurely. So there's a life insurance sale there. Now in an S corp, the significant aspect of that is the company, because it's a tax exempt trust, the premiums are essentially pre-tax, right? Because it's owned. The insurance is owned by the company. So the company pays it out of its profits, and it pays no taxes on its profits. So that's a huge advantage to us as advisors, is we have the ability to recommend something that protects the company and protects the owner and use tax advantage dollars to purchase the life insurance. So that's one aspect of it. The other aspect is that all employees are essentially key employees, right? Every employee, we have to ensure against the risk of every employee dying prematurely. Well, the company has to have the cash to purchase the stock from the employee, because now they are an owner after the sale. So now we have the opportunity to provide key employee coverages for all the. So all of these things, looking at the 401k plan, we can review the 401k plan. We can do executive benefit plan using life insurance. I mean, whatever you're doing today as an advisor, like I said, it has application into this type of plan.
Well, I'm looking at all the possibilities here. We're talking about collateral assignment for your life insurance. We're talking about key man, like you just brought up, which I really thought about just for a second. If I have 30, 40 employees and I have to cover that off, am I doing group term? I'm doing individual? What kind of coverage?
However you want to do it.
So can we simplified underwriting?
Absolutely, absolutely. Like I said, anything that you're doing currently, when you do an ESOP, it doesn't preclude you from doing what you're currently doing. I mean, if you're an expert in group planning, if you're an expert in executive benefit planning and whatsoever, the ESOP touches all. So for example, you can start off by doing estate planning. Well, with estate planning, the ESOP we had to do a valuation. So that comes into play, because now we have tax value on for the company, and that plays a part into the overall estate planning you're doing for the client. So
isn't it true though, also, Keriti, isn't it true that a lot of these estates, that the bulk of the estate is this business we're talking
very
about?
True. Very true.
So there's going to have to, I don't see how you can do, I'm just doing an ESOP, I'm done, thank you very much, I'm out. I think you have to now incorporate what the transaction has done to the estate, and now move and pivot to the estate planning side, because most of the businesses in America that we're addressing, the largest part of their estate is this business we're talking about.
That's exactly right. In fact, I did a plan once where we came in to do an ESOP. That was the reason why I was brought in, so that we can evaluate the suitability of the ESOP for this particular client. But it turned out that what they really wanted to do was to do an estate plan. But because we had gone through the valuation, we tagged the value of the company. and that allowed for us to do the estate planning. So very true. The same goes for executive compensation, retirement planning, and the owner's financial planning. They're all aspects. These are all things that an ESOP touches.
Now you were saying, we were talking about this yesterday in regards to, they have their own plans. They might have their own retirement plans, but they need more than that. They're doing $50,000. They're doing their max contributions.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
But they need more than that.
Right.
Talk a little bit about that, because that gets into our wheelhouse. Because a lot of our producers, a lot of our advisors that are watching, they like to do that, and they go, I know he needs more money for retirement. Where am I going to get it?
That's right. All of us go through that process with our clients. We do a very thorough analysis, and at the end of the day, we have the client has a target, and there's a shortfall. They need to save X number of dollars to meet that target. And they're looking around saying, you know what, after taxes, most of the things I'm funding on an after-tax basis because I'm limited to what I can do on a pre-tax basis. So everything I'm funding these insurances and investment on an after-tax basis. So they're looking at this and I don't have any extra dollars. Well, your largest asset of your portfolio is your company. What if we monetize it? And then I will go through the calculation, said, let's suppose that we value it at $1 million. And take out the distribution from that. The company's going to pay you for that.
In a tax advantage way.
In a tax advantage way. There you go. We have just plugged it. We have just, fill in that gap on your estate planning or your retirement planning. So that's a key to that. And I can do it with the 12C, HB 12C. I can do it in 5 minutes and determine whether that's appropriate or not.
And by the way, that was a shameless plug for Hewlett-Packard's 12Z calculator, which we call the calculator of the fiduciary. And of course, if you're watching any of your representatives from Hewlett-Packard, I'd be happy to host you on the show as a sponsor. How mercenary is that? Oh, wow.
I love it. I use my HP all the time.
We come back from the break. We're going to address a summary of it, all that we've been talking about all this week. And hey, don't forget to hop out to iuluniversity.com for the best training, education, and sales support when it comes to life insurance for retirement income.
You're listening to the insurance industry's #1 resource for products, planning ideas, carrier information, and interviews you can use. When it comes to life insurance, annuities, long-term care, disability, or group pension plans, we're the news you can use.
Did you know the average 401k runs out of money just 7 to 8 years into retirement? Time Magazine, the Wall Street Journal, and many other publications have warned of the difficulty of saving with a 401k. But what if there was a way to create tax-free lifetime retirement income with no stock market risk? Good news, there is.
Living in fear of the next market dive is not the way I want to live my life.
Why would I go out there and take on risk when I don't need to?
I have a lot less stress knowing I can't lose any more of my retirement savings in the stock market.
Call now to receive your free, no-obligation analysis of what this retirement vehicle could do for you, a comparison to your current retirement plan, and a free video that explains this exciting opportunity. Start planning a retirement you can enjoy instead of worrying about future tax increases and stock market losses. Creating income that will last your entire life is the most important thing you'll ever do. Take control of your future. Call now for your free analysis, comparison, and video.
Well, welcome back to the Business Insurance Zone. I'm Steve Savant. And remember, you can order today's giveaways at thebiz.tv. And we're giving away our mini manual on ESOPs. It's actually quite a nice, it really is easy to easy to read, and it's in English, easy to understand. Even I got this on the first pass. And I want you to have this because I think it'll give you a dip your toe kind of idea. Do I really want to get into ESOPs? And is this the actual practice expander or the building out of my practice that I've been looking for? It could be. And it's not for everybody, but it might be for you. Just order it again. Happy to give it to you at thebiz.tv. And remember, before moving forward, anything we talk about, and we've been talking about things that deal with taxes, always touch base with your tax advisor first. And if you're FINRA licensed, always get your broker-dealer compliance officer to sign off on it. We're going to summarize the whole week's show right now. We're going to talk about all the things we've been speaking about. We usually think of ESOPs as a business succession planning issue. And it can be for business. But now we're talking about the person that owns the business. And this is where I think we forget about it. We do business succession planning to continue the entity. But what about the person who started and he wants out?
That's right.
He's looking for an exit strategy. And so this is why we're bringing this up this week. And it could be a major way, especially after the fiscal cliff. I mean, this is built for things like this.
I mean, for me, it's all about legacy planning, right? You know, the owner is at that point where they want to say, okay, you know, I'm thinking about my employees. What do I leave for them? What do I leave for my family, and so forth. So you have an opportunity with an ESOP to really set up a legacy for employees and a legacy for the owner's family, and you can make pivots either way.
Yeah, I just want to talk to my consumer audience that's online with us right now too. If you're an employee of a nice company that's over 20 employees, and you know they're doing $5 million, you know, or more, or no, I'm sorry, $500,000, right, of generated revenue, you may be able to look at this as an out. If there's no suitor for the company that you work for, and you said, boy, I've always wanted to own something, this could be a great employee. We always go to the employer. I'm going direct out to the internet now and saying, hey, if you're participating as an employee of a company that could use an ESOP, and you hear this, this could be a way for you to own part of the company without any money out of your pocket. To me, that's huge. And remember, the government's all over this. They're happy with us.
And we'll do the discovery. I mean,
yes, we have to find out.
The key is that we will do with our advisors, with our partners, we'll come in and we'll do the discovery initially. Before any attorney is involved, before any CPA is involved, we'll do the discovery and we'll determine what the client's objectives are.
Let's say,
what do they want to do?
Of all the people, when you, as a percentage, I know this is a little difficult to ask, but let's say for every 10 companies that you look at to start out as an ESOP, how many of them finish or do an ESOP out of 10?
I would say maybe 2.
So 20%, but you're still leading with it because it's so differentiated.
That's right.
Okay, now if they're doing 20% ESOPs, where's it going? Where's the 80% going?
Well, most of them will pivot to, you know, we may do a defined benefit plan. You know, maybe we'll do an executive benefit plan. For whatever reasons, they will elect not to pursue that way. But that will allow us to pivot to other aspects. You know, again, as I mentioned, the ESOP touches a lot of things, and you can do a lot of things. You know, as advisors, we do a lot of things, even with or without the ESOP. So the other 80% will probably do an estate plan. They will probably do an executive bonus plan. You know, maybe a Section 79 plan, or maybe they'll look into their 401k and decide they want to do a combo defined benefit 401k plan. I mean, there are all kinds of things, and guess who's involved in that planning? We are. You know, the attorneys who are specialists in ESOPs or CPAs who are specialists in ESOPs will not participate in that. They'll look at that and say, okay, and the client will make a decision and say, I like it, but I don't think I want to do it. Well, they go away, but we're involved with that planning process going forward.
I think it's interesting, especially in our economy today. You're seeing more and more businesses looking for suitors to buy them out so the owner can retire, but they're just not getting it. The demand is not there. I think one of the new tactics for ESOPs is to start to approach the upper middle class and affluent business owners who are looking for a way to exit out and a strategy, knowing full well the odds are I'm not going to get a suitor here. So let's just start looking at ESOPs. Instead of making 20%, I predict, especially with taxes and the advantages here, this thing could bump up for every 10. Maybe you're starting to get 30 or 40%. They're going to look at this because I think the whole issue of being bought out, I mean, even in our industry, independent marketing organizations, there's 800 and whatever, how many guys are just like we are. We're running the same issue. Well, you don't think you're getting the valuation you're looking for. You're not getting a suitor to buy it. You can't consolidate.
Well, I'm giving it away.
Yeah, sure. Or you're giving it too much away.
You know, it's the same reason why a lot of people don't do charitable giving. You know, like a charitable lead trust or charitable. You know, you and Ken did a segment on that. It's because they think that, gosh, I'm going to disinherit my children if I give away what I have. They don't know that that's a huge technique to do estate planning and build wealth. It's the same way with ESOPs. You know, psychologically, they think, I'm giving away my inheritance to the employees. What am I going to do for my kids? I built this up thinking that I'm going to leave it for my children, but the children don't want to participate. Maybe not. But again, you know, it's that and we have to go through as reps. We have to take them through that psychological barrier. And that's very key.
In a closely held family,
where
the kids are going to be the employees. This is a great way to play.
Yeah, we have to help them go through that barrier of giving up something that emotionally they were connected to throughout their whole lives.
Well, I don't mind giving it up if the tax advantages and the leverage is huge. And I say for a lot of this needs to be, of course, we do exploratory discovery process. Keriti will walk you through this. You're not going to be alone. He will mentor you through the first couple cases. We'll even pre-qualify and say, oh, this isn't probably an ESOP. I'm looking for 20 employees or more and about $500,000 of good revenue. Remember, you can watch this show and the whole week's show all on ESOPs by clicking the red on-demand video button right on our homepage at brokersalliance.com. Well, that's the Buzz on the Biz for today. Get in the zone, the business insurance zone.
You're listening to the insurance industry's #1 resource for products, planning ideas, carrier information, and interviews you can use. When it comes to life insurance, annuities, long-term care, disability, or group pension plans, we're the news you can use.